You think you're smart. You think you've got it all figured out because you watched a few episodes, read some half-baked fan theories on Reddit, and maybe bought a Hellfire Club t-shirt from the mall. But let me tell you something, you're just like Sam Owens and Martin Brenner. You're overconfident. You're playing with interdimensional fire, and you don't even realize your eyebrows are already singed. I've been digging through the redacted files of Hawkins National Laboratory. The stuff they didn't want the public to see. The stuff that makes Brenner look like a total clown. We're talking about the disturbing case of Henry Creel, the original mistake. The kid who turned the most prestigious lab in the country into a glorified slaughterhouse because some old man had a papa complex. Listen up, because while you were worried about who was dating who, Brenner was busy creating the end of the world. Number 1. The Soteria Delusion. Imagine being Martin Brenner. You find this kid, Henry. He's already nuked his own family in 1959. He's twisted, he's obsessed with spiders, and he thinks humans are a unique type of pest. So what does a genius scientist do? He sticks a tiny microchip in the kid's neck and thinks, yeah, that'll hold him. Soteria. What a joke of a name. It's supposed to mean salvation or protection. But for the lab, it was just a countdown to a bloodbath. Brenner thought he could neutralize a god with a piece of tech that probably had less processing power than a pocket calculator. He stripped Henry of his powers but kept him in the building. That's like taking the bullets out of a gun but keeping the gun cocked against your temple while you sleep. It's ego, pure and simple. Brenner wanted to own the power. He didn't want to destroy it. And that pride, that was the first brick in the wall of the disaster that was about to hit Hawkins. He really thought a piece of silicon could stop the first shadow. Total fail. By the way, if you think Brenner was the biggest loser in Indiana history, hit that like button. If you think I'm being too mean to a guy who kidnapped children and created an interdimensional bridge of flesh, well, maybe the Mind Flayer has a spot for you in the abyss. Number 2. The orderly promotion. This is where it gets really embarrassing for the lab. After Brenner realized he couldn't control Henry's mind, he didn't lock him in a lead-lined vault at the bottom of the ocean. No, he gave him a white uniform and a job. Henry Creel, the kid who literally imploded his sister's eyes, was now mopping the floors. He was an orderly. He was walking the halls, watching the new kids and whispering in their ears. It's like hiring a shark to guard a pool full of seals and then being surprised when there's blood in the water. Brenner gave Henry a front row seat to his own replacement project. He let the first shadow watch as he tried to recreate his powers in subjects like 2, 5, and eventually 11. Henry wasn't just an orderly. He was a predator in a lab coat. He spent years studying the staff, the security protocols, and the kids. He was looking for the weakest link. He was looking for a way out, and Brenner was too busy playing papa to realize he was being hunted in his own house. Henry was a unique type of pest that Brenner invited to stay for dinner. Number 3. The blood harvesting. This is the part that really makes my skin crawl. Brenner wasn't just studying Henry. He was harvesting him. He took Henry's unique blood, that weird, abyss-tainted stuff from the Nevada caves, and started pumping it into pregnant volunteers. People like Terry Ives. He wanted an army of Henrys. He wanted the power without the attitude. But you can't clone a nightmare and expect it to have sweet dreams. All those kids in the Rainbow Room, 2, 10, 8, they were all just pale imitations of the original monster. Brenner was so obsessed with replicating the miracle of 1959 that he turned the lab into a factory for ticking time bombs. He created a dozen kids with the power to level a city, and then he put them all in a room with the one guy who hated humanity more than anything. It's not science, it's a suicide pact. He thought he was playing God, but he was just playing with matches in a gas station. Honestly, if you're still watching this and haven't subscribed yet, you're probably an orderly at the lab. And we all know what happens to them. Stick around, unless you want to end up like Subject 2 with your limbs turned into pretzels. Number 4. The 1983 Diary Secrets. This is what the lab really hid. Everyone thinks the Upside Down is a dimension. Wrong. Brenner's secret files and his 1983 diary prove it's a wormhole bridge, a physical tear in space-time fueled by exotic matter. Brenner knew this in 1983. He knew that 11 didn't create that world. She just built the bridge to the abyss. He watched as the Mothergate started consuming the lower levels of the lab, and he did nothing. He just sat there with his diary, taking notes while Hawkins was being prepped for a takeover. He knew about the particles. He knew about the hive mind. He knew that the mind flayer was just waiting for a chance to use a human vessel. He let Byers get taken because he wanted to see if a human could actually survive the connection. He wasn't trying to save Will. He was running a live fire experiment on a child's soul. He was a C- in humanity, if you ask me. Number 5. The Camazot's blueprint. Henry wasn't just sitting in the lab mopping floors. He was designing his future kingdom. He calls it Camazot's, a world made of memories, a psychological prison. While Brenner thought he was training Henry, Henry was actually training the lab. He learned how to manipulate the sensory deprivation tanks. He learned how to use the void to find people's deepest traumas. The lab thought they were using him to find Russian spies, but Henry was using the lab to find his next victims. He was building the blueprint for the pain tree while Brenner was still trying to figure out why Henry liked spiders. It's the ultimate irony. The lab spent millions of dollars building a cage for a monster, and the monster used that cage to build an empire. He wasn't broken, Brenner. He was evolving. Let's talk about the vibe in that place. Picture this. It's 1979. The halls are sterile, the lights are flickering, and everyone's pretending everything is fine. Brenner walks into the rainbow room looking all smug in his suit. He sees Henry over there, helping the kids with their blocks. "Good morning, children," Brenner says, with that fake calm voice. "Good morning, Papa," the kids chirp back like brainwashed robots. It's a scene straight out of a horror movie, but they're living it. Brenner pulls subject to a side. "2, you seem frustrated today. Is something bothering you?" 2 looks over at Henry, then back at Brenner. "It's nothing, Papa. I can't move the block like the orderly can." Brenner just smiles that creepy smile. Negative emotions are a distraction too. You must find the light. And meanwhile, Henry is in the corner, mopping a floor that's already clean, probably thinking about how he's going to decorate the walls with Brenner's intestines. It was a comedy of errors, except nobody was laughing. Henry was playing Brenner like a cheap fiddle. He was coaching the kids, sure, but he was also grooming 11. He saw the raw power in her. He saw a mirror of himself. He told her she was special. He told her she was better than them. He gave her a keycard under a chess set like it was a damn spy novel. Number 6. The Soteria fail. On September 8, 1979, the lab officially went to hell. 11 is in the basement. She's scared. She's confused. And there's Henry, looking like her only friend in the world. He shows her the drain pipe. He tells her the other kids want to kill her. He's gaslighting a child so he can get his leash off. "I can't go with you, 11, he says, acting all heroic. "Soteria. It tracks me. It weakens me." And 11, being the sweet, powerful kid she was, offers to take it out. She uses her mind to reach into his neck and pop. The chip is out. The leash is gone. The monster is unleashed. What happened next wasn't an accident. It was an inevitable consequence of Brenner's ego. Henry didn't just walk out. He danced through that building. He snapped necks like they were dry twigs. He didn't care about the guards. He didn't care about the doctors. And he definitely didn't care about the brothers and sisters. He slaughtered them all. He wanted to wipe the slate clean. He wanted to show Brenner that you can't keep a predator in a cage and expect it to forget how to bite. When 11 found him in the rainbow room, the floor was red. It wasn't a room for kids anymore. It was a tomb. Henry stood there, blood on his face, looking at her like he expected a thank you. "I did this for us," he says. "They were weak. They were holding us back." That was his unlikely victory. He had won. He had destroyed Brenner's legacy in a single afternoon. He was free, or so he thought. He underestimated the little sister. 11 didn't want his version of freedom. She didn't want to be a god of a dead world. She fought back. And in that moment, when she pinned him against the wall and started turning him into ash, she didn't just banish him. She created the very nightmare that's currently eating Hawkins alive. If you're wondering why I'm telling you this, it's because history has a nasty habit of repeating itself. Brenner's dead, sure, but the mindset is still there. The idea that we can control things we don't understand. The idea that we can use monsters to fight other monsters. It's what led to the Upside Down. It's what led to the massacre. And it's what's leading us to the end of the world. Think about the wormhole. Think about the bridge. Think about the fact that Brenner knew about all of this back in 1983. He had a diary full of secrets that he kept hidden while Hawkins burned. He watched as kids went missing, as families were destroyed, all because he couldn't admit he'd made a mistake. He'd rather see the world end than admit that he wasn't the smartest man in the room. By now, you should probably be looking for the nearest exit. But where are you going to go? Hawkins is a circle. A circle of pain, a circle of rules, and a circle of failed experiments. Henry Creel is the center of that circle, and he's just getting started. He's been waiting